Have you ever wondered what makes you, you? Well, the answer lies in a molecule so small, yet so complex, that it's been the subject of countless studies and breakthroughs: DNA. DNA, or deoxyribonucleic acid, is the blueprint of life, a set of instructions that tells each cell in your body what to do. Imagine an intricate puzzle with billions of pieces, each piece unique, each piece crucial. That's your DNA. It's like a recipe, but instead of baking a cake, it's whipping up the unique blend of traits that make you, you. Now let's get a bit technical. The structure of DNA is what we call a double helix. Two strands twisted together like a spiraling ladder. Each rung of the ladder is made up of two components, or bases, that pair together, adenine with thymine and cytosine with guanine. These base pairs are the letters in the instruction manual that is your DNA. But what does DNA actually do? Well, it codes for proteins. Proteins are the workhorses of the body, doing everything from making your muscles move to helping your immune system fight off infections. Each gene, a specific segment of DNA, provides the instructions for a specific protein, and these proteins, in turn, determine your traits. Everything from the color of your eyes to your ability to roll your tongue. So your DNA is like an immensely complex instruction manual, with each gene a chapter providing a specific set of instructions. But the real beauty of DNA is its diversity. With over 7 billion people on the planet, no two people's DNA is exactly the same, except for identical twins. That's the level of diversity we're talking about. So, in essence, DNA is the fundamental building block that outlines our identity. It's the enigma that makes us unique, the code that makes us human. And cracking this code, understanding the language of DNA, is one of the greatest challenges and opportunities in science today. Think of DNA as the architect of your body. Just as an architect uses a blueprint to design a magnificent skyscraper, your DNA uses its own blueprint to design and build you. But how does this happen? Well, it all starts with a process called DNA replication. This is when DNA makes an exact copy of itself. Picture this. Imagine a twisted ladder that's been split down the middle. Each half then goes on to form a new ladder, matching with a new partner to form a complete set. This is essentially what happens during DNA replication. Each strand of the DNA molecule serves as a template for a new strand. This way, every new cell gets a complete set of DNA instructions. Now, DNA doesn't just replicate for the fun of it. This replication is part of a larger process called cell division. You see, every second of every day, millions of your cells are dividing, growing, and repairing themselves. And each new cell needs its own copy of your DNA. So DNA replication is incredibly vital to your body's maintenance and growth. But the magic of DNA doesn't stop at replication. DNA also instructs cells to make proteins. Proteins, in turn, perform most of the work in cells and are required for the structure, function, and regulation of the body's tissues and organs. Imagine your DNA as a cookbook, and each protein as a different recipe. The DNA cookbook doesn't just hold the recipes, it tells your cells exactly how to make each one. Instructions in the DNA are used to guide the cell in creating these proteins, which then go on to perform a multitude of tasks in the body, from building tissues to fighting off infections. Thus, DNA serves as the master blueprint, guiding our body's growth, development, and functioning. It's the architect, the cook, and the foreman of your body's construction site. And understanding it is the key to unlocking the mysteries of life itself. If DNA is the book that tells our body's story, then genes are the chapters. Let's take a moment to understand this a little better. You know how a book is divided into chapters, each one telling a different part of the story? That's kind of how our DNA works. Our DNA is not just one long, continuous strand. Instead, it's divided into segments, or chapters if you will. And these segments are what we call genes. Each gene is like a unique recipe, a set of instructions that tells our bodies how to make a specific protein. Now, proteins are the workhorses of our bodies. They build, maintain, and repair our tissues. They help us fight off infections. They even help us think and remember. In short, proteins are essential for virtually every function in our bodies. And it's our genes that hold the blueprint for each and every one of these proteins. But here's where it gets interesting. Just as no two books tell the same story, No two sets of genes are exactly alike. Even though we all share about 99.9% of our DNA, it's that tiny fraction of a percent that makes each of us unique. It's why you may have your grandmother's nose, or your father's laugh, or why you love spicy food while your sibling can't stand it. These differences come from variations in our genes. Sometimes, a single letter change in the DNA sequence of a gene can lead to a completely different protein being made. Other times, it's a series of changes that lead to a different trait or characteristic. So, when we talk about genes, we're not just talking about segments of DNA, we're talking about the very essence of what makes us, us. We're talking about the chapters that tell our unique stories, the chapters that contribute to the diversity and richness of life. In other words, genes are the individual stories within the grand narrative that is our DNA. Ever wondered why you have your mother's eyes or your father's smile? This question piques our curiosity, leading us to the intriguing world of DNA inheritance. So let's dive into this mystery and unravel the secrets of our traits. When it comes to inheritance, it's all about the passing of DNA from parents to offspring. Every person carries a unique genetic code, a mix of their parents' DNA. This code, located in the nucleus of our cells, is the script that directs our growth, development, and physical characteristics. Picture DNA as a twisted ladder, known as the double helix. Each rung on this ladder represents a pair of genes, one from each parent. These genes come in different forms or alleles, which can be either dominant or recessive. Now here's where the plot thickens. If you've ever wondered why some traits seem to override others, you've stumbled upon the concept of dominant and recessive genes. Let's say you've got a dominant gene for brown eyes from your mother and a recessive gene for blue eyes from your father. The dominant gene, in this case, the one for brown eyes, takes the center stage, giving you those lovely brown eyes. But the recessive gene isn't lost. It's still there, hidden in your DNA, and you could potentially pass it on to your children. This genetic game of chance is what makes us all unique. It's why siblings from the same parents can look so different. Each a unique combination of their parents' traits. But remember, our understanding of inheritance goes beyond just dominant and recessive genes. Many traits are influenced by multiple genes and environmental factors, adding even more layers to the intricate puzzle of inheritance. So, as we delve deeper into the realm of genetics, we begin to appreciate the complex dance of DNA that makes us who we are. It's fascinating, isn't it? Our traits are a complex blend of our parents' DNA. Can understanding our DNA help us predict and prevent diseases? This question sets the stage for the future of medicine, an era that is increasingly becoming intertwined with our understanding of DNA. Our DNA is like an intricate biological script that guides our lives. This script is responsible for creating our uniqueness, dictating our physical traits, and even influencing our susceptibility to certain diseases. But as we delve deeper into the mysteries of DNA, we are beginning to harness its power. We're moving from simply reading this script to actively editing it, and this opens up a new realm of possibilities for medicine and beyond. Genetic testing, for example, allows us to predict our likelihood of developing certain diseases. It's like having a crystal ball that can peek into our future health. But, unlike crystal balls, genetics offers real, actionable insights. If we know we're at risk, we can adopt lifestyle changes, seek early interventions, or even use preventive treatments to ward off diseases before they strike. Then there's personalized medicine, a rapidly evolving field that tailors treatments to our individual genetic makeup. No longer will we rely on a one-size-fits-all approach. Instead, we'll have customized treatments, specifically designed to work best with our unique DNA. And let's not forget gene therapy, a revolutionary approach that directly modifies our genes to treat or prevent diseases. Imagine curing genetic disorders not with pills or surgeries, but by tweaking our DNA. It's a concept that was once only in the realm of science fiction, but it's becoming more of a reality with each passing day. The potential held by our understanding of DNA is immense. It's like we've been handed a blueprint, a roadmap to our own bodies. And as we continue to decipher this roadmap, we're unlocking new ways to predict, prevent, and treat diseases. Indeed, DNA, the blueprint of life, holds untapped potential for the future of medicine and beyond. This isn't just a glimpse into the future of medicine. It's a peek into the future of humanity itself.